Good evening to everyone, and welcome to 6 Weeks of Fitness session number 10. It's amazing how time flies when you're having so much fun, right? Now, I recently interviewed Trisha Nelson on my 6 Weeks of Fitness podcast. Trisha has been featured on NBC, CBS, KTLA, and other media outlets. She lost 50 pounds by identifying and healing the underlying causes of her emotional eating. She's an emotional eating expert and TEDx speaker whose talk has garnered over 2 million views on YouTube. She's the author of the #1 best-selling book, Heal Your Hunger, 7 Simple Steps to End Emotional Eating Now. I had a 40-minute conversation with Trisha, and I just want to share 5 minutes of it with you before we discuss it. So Donna, if you could show the video. Thank you.
Keep talking for a little bit. Things I not lost it, but I have to find it back. I had it set up and it disappeared. So keep talking.
Oh, okay. Oh, no problem. No problem. Yes, as you guys know, I like to sometimes have a video on a Thursday and then discuss it because it brings home the points that I'm trying to make and the importance of whether it be eating healthy, the importance of fasting, whatever I believe that we could use, because sometimes it also helps to hear from another professional who can also bring it home, right? So these videos are just meant to educate, give you some more information on the points we're trying to bring out, because this is important for each and every one of us today, that we know how to take care of our health. Because again, as I always say, we have one body, and if we take care of that body will take care of us, right? So, and as we move forward, we want to make sure that we're doing the right things to nurture and take care of our bodies. Because if we eat right, if we exercise, that's more than half the battle right there. But to show up is also important. And for those of you who showed up, it's so important because now we're working it out together. We're getting healthier together. And with that being said, I believe Donna has the video. But you just don't hear it. The audio is not on, Donna. Donna, we're not hearing Trisha.
What happened, Vince?
We're not hearing the audio.
Okay, hold on. Try again. I don't know why it disappeared. But hold on. Keep talking, Vince.
Okay, no, we have technical difficulties. We know that for a fact. But I think it's definitely worth hearing what Trisha has to say. And I hope you guys are ready for George, because he's ready for you. Okay? So I'm hoping you're ready. You're ready to work out, burn some calories, because there's no secret. If you want to get in shape, you have to challenge your body. The only way for muscles really to grow is when you challenge them. All right. So, and one thing about strength training or the functional fitness that George is doing, it's just like, building, you're building your body so that it can perform properly down the road. And a lot of the exercises that he demonstrates is basically functional fitness, movements that you do every day, but we take for granted. So we're going to try it again. Let's see if it doesn't work, we just. I want to know, why do we basically have food binges at night more so than during the day? That is something that you got to tell me why.
Yeah, it's 75% of the time, from the polls I've done, the hardest time is at night for people, you
Really?
know, and yeah, absolutely. And the reason for that is because we've added stress throughout the day. Like we have the highest amount of willpower first thing in the morning, and then it tapers off throughout the day. So we have less willpower at night, if any at all. Plus, we've accumulated stress throughout the day that we probably didn't address properly. We just, kept moving. And then when you get home and it's quiet and the kids are in bed, it starts like bubbling up and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened, and I forgot he said that, and I forgot I've got to do that still before I go to bed. So all this stress piles up, and also we feel like we need a reward, right? So we go into the kitchen, we have our little reward, which turns into a binge, and it's just harder at night. Plus, it's quiet, and we're alone with our thoughts and our feelings. And that's what we've been running from all day in our busyness and overdoing. But when it's quiet and everybody's in bed, we start to have uncomfortable feelings, and we go and we have a snack, which turns into another, one bowl of cereal, which turns into 2 bowls of cereal, and so forth.
And it just continues.
Yeah, it's
over.
tough. And it's
It is.
also, then it leads to staying up too late because, of course, you
Yes.
want to eat in front of the TV, and then you're
Right.
binge watching shows, and before you
Yes.
know it, you're going to bed at midnight instead of 10, and then you're tired the next day, and then you start it all over again.
Right. But the food hasn't digested properly. Right? So you have more, gas and everything else, bloating, the stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, downward spiral. Now, in your book, Heal Your Hunger, you outline 7 simple steps to end emotional eating. You may have given me a couple already, but can you just give me those 7 steps again for my listeners and viewers?
Sure. So, I'll give them to you. So they're in different orders. Like in my book, one of them is connection and community. They all start with C. So connection and community is one of them. Centeredness, and I did talk about that, like having that morning routine. That's to get centered.
Yes.
A meditation practice, a breathing practice, that's to get centered.
Yes.
Definitely communication. We haven't talked about that, but people typically who have food and weight issues have trouble speaking, like saying how they really feel about things. So they pack it down. They stuff it instead of saying it. And so communication is one, like learning to express yourself, instead of stuffing what you want to say. That's really important. Clean eating, like finding what my clean eating plan is 3-meal magic, which I said 3 meals with nothing in between. And people need to find what works for them. I'm not one to prescribe a specific diet because we all have different nutritional needs. But definitely cleaning up your eating and just eating on a schedule so that you're not snacking all day long, so you can start to get acquainted with your emotions is super important. Consciousness, like just getting more conscious of what's going on inside of you. Now, listening to your body, finding out what works food wise. Like, does that particular item feel good in my body? Like, how does it, like when you start cleaning up your diet, you start being sensitive to what works and what doesn't work. Whereas before, we're just a human garbage can and we have no idea, right? And so getting conscious, also getting conscious of our thoughts and feelings, realizing when we're feeling irritated about something, or when something somebody said hurt our feelings. Like just getting more aware and conscious is so, so important. Courage is one of them. Having courage to do any of the things we're talking about. It takes courage to make these kinds of changes, in our life, for sure. Trying to think, there's others I'm probably missing. Another one is causes, look at underlying causes, and that's a deeper conversation as well. But yeah, these are the things. I think I might have given you 6 and I'm missing one. So
It's still very good. And I would imagine that stress is a major cause of these emotional.
no question. And the thing is, we create a lot of our own stress, which
Mm,
is actually good news because that means we can stop creating it.
right.
You know, and what I mean by that is so often, you know, as overeaters, we're also overthinkers. So we can drive ourselves nuts having a racing mind.
Yes.
And so, you know, we work ourselves up into a tizzy over things like somebody looked at us this way and we've made up a whole story about how they feel about us, right? And then we're like,
Right.
screw them. And then we're all pissed off war, which didn't even
Yes.
happen, right? So these kind of things, we create a lot of our stress by overthinking. We create a lot of our stress by being rescuers. So in my book, I talk about the emotional eater, which are 24 personality traits that emotional eaters have that have nothing to do with food. And these are traits that create the stress that causes stress eating. So stress eating is a huge thing for us. One of the traits, I'd say the number one trait, Vincent, is basically people pleasing. So wanting people to like us, in which
Yes.
case we are like extending ourselves more than we can or have the energy for, like we're saying yes to projects at work that we should be delegating, or we're you know, we're trying to, you know, be the savior, you know, do all the things, be superwoman, you know, and then people are never as pleased as we plan on them being. Like, I'm going to do all this, I'm going to get all these accolades, and then nobody even notices. You know, so not
Yes.
only are we stressed out and overcommitted, but then we're pissed off. We're like, screw them. You know, they didn't even notice I pulled an all-nighter for this. And then it's like, you know, they won't recognize me. I'm going to recognize myself with the I deserve it binge. You know,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so I'm just saying, there's a lot of ways that we're putting ourselves under undue stress. You know, I mean, there's stress in life that you can't avoid. You know, kids who need our help, parents who need our help, you know, whatever, sickness,
Yes.
relocation, new job, whatever. Stress is going to be, but how we react to that stress, how,
Yes.
you know, what ways we're, you know, contributing to it by not asking for help, by not
Yes.
having self-care practices that can shore us up in times
Mm.
of stress. You know, these are all things we can do to change. So it's not just that we're victims of the world and things happening in the world. We can have a different response, but these are things we need to practice and learn. And that's so much of what my work is about.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much, Donna. Yes, I wanted to share this video with you because binge eating at night is a real thing. Emotional eating is a real thing, and a lot of times we defeat our purpose when we do things like that. But I just wanted you to hear it from someone who's been through it, who was able to heal herself by changing the way she eat and basically being aware of what was going on. And so many of us, sometimes we're not aware of what our emotional triggers. So binging is real. And it seems like late at night is when we're at our weakest. She was saying in the morning, we have more willpower, but late in the evening, we kind of lose it. All right. So we have to be mindful of that. And I'm thinking maybe some of you may understand and agree with what Trisha had to say. I know I do, because I've been there. I know that feeling. But another thing I wanted to bring up, because I didn't talk about this on Tuesday, but I know that so many of us were going through an emotional state after the election. I know what it brought on, the feelings that it brought on. And I think that could also affect you in a negative way. I mean, months prior to the election, it was stressful. The day after, when you find out who the winner was stressed a lot of people out, and it may have led you to do some emotional eating because of that. So it's like a trigger. What's making us do this? because no matter what happens, we still had to get up and go to work the next day. Kids still had to go to school. So what has really changed? So we have got to make sure that we don't let the stress take control of us. It's during times of physical or emotional stress that it's very important that we are mindful of our emotional triggers. Did this stress cause you to eat foods you ordinarily wouldn't eat? And you can say, did it? Or were you able to just stay focused and not let it affect you at all? Did you grab foods that's ultra processed with excess sugar and salt just to get through the day? Do you know that desserts spelled backwards is, I'm not sure, do you see this? Stress, right? This word spelled backwards is stressed. So a lot of times we grab a lot of sweets, a lot of desserts because we were stressed out. So just think about that. So what am I getting at? All right, the holidays are coming. And guess what comes with the holidays? More stress, right? So stress is a part of our lives, but it's how we handle stress that counts. Stress can cause headaches, muscle tension, anxiety, irritability, difficulty concentrating, forgetfulness, and of course, emotional eating. And that, to me, in many ways, could be the worst. But some of the best ways I know how to deal with stress is through meditation, mindfulness, deep breathing exercises, meditation. All those things will calm your nerves. Exercises like yoga, Pilates, those exercises will not only reduce stress, but they'll also increase your flexibility. You can do walking, jogging, and of course, strength training. That would help reduce a lot of stress. Also, Tai Chi. I know Marjorie mentioned Tai Chi in the comments in the WhatsApp chat yesterday. And that's a great mind-body exercise that will also reduce stress. But so we've got to think about ways to deal with it. Stress is a part of our lives, and it's going to be with us for the rest of our lives. But it just comes down to how you deal with it. And you can deal with it. Eating healthy is another way to deal with it. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, all that stuff is really good to help reduce stress. But how often do we grab whole foods when we're stressed out? Do we grab the chips? Do we grab the ice cream, the cakes, the cookies? Or do we grab the apple, the orange, the pear, the watermelon? Only you know for sure. I'm just putting it out there. You know what you grab. And I know what I've grabbed many a times. But I know how I feel when I'm grabbing the apple, the orange, the pear, the banana. Because I know my body, the cells in my body recognizes real food. And it will respond to real food. It's not going to respond to the ice cream and cake. The ice cream, the cake, the cookie is going to make me want more of that. And you're filling your body with empty calories. So that's why you keep eating more and more, because you're not satiated. Right? You're not satiated. So you can keep eating more of the bad stuff. Whereas an apple, after one or two, you're like, hey, I'm good. Your body's like, okay, I'm good. You're fine. All right. So we got to eat more of the good stuff, especially when we're stressed. You know, Kilana said, what if we grab veggie chips? Well, it depends. If the veggie chips are processed, then I wouldn't grab them. You know, why not just grab some vegetables as opposed to the veggie chips? And veggie chips may have a lot of salt on them as well. So we got to be very careful. They may say veggie or this or that. Like, for instance, and Kilana, I hope you don't mind me mentioning, you asked me about dried fruit that you had, for lunch or for snacks. And I said, well, the dried fruit, you have to be very careful because they have a lot more sugar than just regular fruit. So although it may look good and you think you're eating healthy, but you're not because of the sugar content. So we just have to be mindful of that. It all comes down to mindfulness. And we also have to realize that we are social beings. And if you're stressed, a lot of times you need social interaction with your loved ones. Call up somebody. Call somebody who loves you, right? And check on your loved ones, but you never know. We need each other, especially in times of stress, so that you know that you're not alone. You're not by yourself. You know, in this world of 7 to 8 billion people, yet people can still be considered alone. And you know, that is a major issue today. People are dying of loneliness. It may be hard to believe, but I was speaking to a doctor on my podcast not too long ago, and he said dying of loneliness is a real thing. A lot of people are alone right now. So don't think that just because you see somebody here today, looks great, that they're not going through something. They could be. So reach out. That's important. So we need social support in the midst of stress. Okay? So if you need a therapist, then that's professional help. But one thing I'm going to say that most of us do not get, and that is enough sleep. We need sleep to deal with stress. Your body functions so much better if you're getting 7, 8 hours, and maybe even 9. I don't know what it's like to get 9 hours of sleep. I'll tell you right now. I'll bet I even 8. But I do know what it's like to get 6 and 7. That's important, okay? Sleep is important because you're rejuvenating, you're rebuilding your body. And it's important. Your body needs rest and relaxation. Any questions on what we talked about so far? When it comes to emotional eating, and Sonia says sometimes asking for help can be perceived as a sign of weakness. You know, we have to get away from what people, the perception or what people think about us. It's a good point though. Some people, especially men, don't want to show, we think that asking for help is a sign of weakness, where it really is a sign of strength, that I know I can't do it alone. That's a sign of strength, not weakness, but we perceive it as weakness. But you know what? It's even weaker if you don't ask for help, you know, because you're not by yourself. You need other people to be in your life for a reason. And you're contributing to other people's lives. A lot of times we think, well, you know, maybe if I wasn't around, life would be better. If you weren't around, life would be worse because you're fulfilling a purpose on this planet. Now, I remember walking down the street and this cab driver, he wasn't in the car, he was walking as well. I know he drives a cab, and he's about to walk in front of the bus. And I pulled him back because I know every human being is important. And there are people in his life who love him. It would be devastated if something would happen to him. So in many ways, we are our brother's keeper. We have to help each other because we're all contributing on this planet. And that's why we're here. When you're no longer needed or necessary, you move on. That's my belief. When you've served your purpose, you're gone. But as long as you have a purpose, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to those around you to help them, to be there for them. Okay, so I think is very important. And that's why I really wanted to talk about this, because emotional eating is a real thing. Stress is a real thing. And in this society right now, there's a lot of stress, but we can deal with it because the world is still going on and on and on. We have got to go with it. We can't let outside circumstances affect us in a negative way. Sure, it's there, but you know, we don't have to be consumed by it. And I often talk about the media and how the media plays on our emotions. You can't listen to the media without hearing some negativity. Somebody sent me a text a little while ago about 3 women being shot in Miami after a political debate the other day. Like, why do I even want to hear? And you can see that. It's negative, right? But this is what the media is going to put out there. And then we just help it along by spreading the word. I want to think about what's positive. I want to think about the good that God has created and the good that he's put on this world. Because when you think positively and you put out good energy comes back to you. When you start thinking good, good comes to you. You think bad, bad will come. They're all waiting around for you to call upon them, waiting for you. The good is waiting, the bad is waiting. I choose to call upon the good because I believe in the good. And I believe that God is good and that he's going to take care of all of us if we believe and take care of ourselves and do what he has put out here for us to do. Eat what he's put out there. Eat what God made and not what man made. That will help us mentally and physically. I hope you agree. And with that being said, I think I've talked enough. If you guys are not asleep, if I didn't lure you to sleep, I want to see if George is around and perhaps he can wake you up and get you ready for the next part of the program. George, how you doing?
I'm all right. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you, my brother.
Likewise. Good to see everybody. Hope everybody's ready. Hope your week is going.
I think they
good.
are. Yeah.
All right. So let's get to our mats. I'm going to stand at the top. I'm going to start to ground yourself by using your feet to place equal force against the ground, as if you're pushing the ground away from you. And as you're doing that, focus on your breathing. Remember, taking big, deep breaths in through the nose and exhaling out through the nose. Imagine you're trying to fog up a window. Put your hand here in front. Imagine that hand is a mirror. You're trying to fog it up. I want you to feel that heat that you're generating coming out from your breath. And I want you to maintain that type of breathing throughout this next few minutes. Shoulders are relaxed and continue with that equal pushing of force. Lifting the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And on your next exhale, you're going to bring your chin down towards your chest. And gently as you inhale, we're going to lift the chin up. We're exhaling out, bringing the chin towards the chest. And just moving our head up and down. A few more, deep breath in. Continue pushing with your feet down against the ground. And let's bring our heads back to center. And then from here, we're going to go left to right. So we bring our chin over towards the left shoulder as you exhale. Inhaling back to the middle and exhaling over towards the right. Continue with that deep breath. Get a few more. And you're moving your chin, looking over that shoulder. And let's bring it back to center. And then from here, we're just going to make nice big circles with our head. I'm going from right to left. You can go in the same direction. You can go whatever direction you want. Just take your time. Inhaling in the upward motion. Exhaling as you come down. Let's get 2 more in this direction. Switch sides. Switch directions, rather. So we're heading in the opposite direction. Whatever direction you were heading in, move in the opposite direction. And not forgetting about that pressure that we're applying on the ground. Keeping your chest lifted high. Inhaling in the upward motion. Exhaling as you bring it down. Relax, bring our head back to the middle. We're gonna take a big deep breath in, bring our hands all the way up towards the ceiling. We're just gonna reach up and slightly reach back. And as you're reaching back, I want you to bring your hands behind your head, clasping your hands, bringing them right behind your head. Opening up the shoulder, opening up the elbows, opening up the chest. Taking a big deep breath in, filling your lungs up. Exhaling out, releasing it. And next inhale, you're going to take your chest and you're going to turn it towards the left side of your mat. So you're exhaling. Inhale, keeping those elbows open, bring it back to the center, inhaling. And exhale, bring it over toward the right side of the mat. Your feet are staying in the same position. Inhaling, bring it back towards the middle. Elbows open, chest open, exhale. Big deep breath in. Bring it back to the center and go through this a few more times. You can move at your own pace. But it's the same movement. Inhaling. Chest lifted. Exhaling. So twist. Still using the feet to apply equal force against the ground. Feeling the legs activate. And your next inhale, let's bring our hands back up towards the center as we reach up, gazing up towards the thumbs. And again, I'm going to ask you to clasp your hands together. You're going to bring your hands just below your chin. And we're going to open up our hands. Inhaling, lifting the elbows up towards the ceiling. And exhale, bringing the elbows together. Big deep breath in, bring the elbows up towards the ceiling. And exhale, bring the elbows together. A few more times. Inhale, lifting up gently. Feeling that stretch in the fingers. Exhale. Bring those elbows together. Let's get 2 more. Deep breath in. Lifting the elbows up towards the ceiling. Extending the fingers. And exhale. Bringing the palms together, the elbows together. Now 1 more. And exhale. Inhale, I want you to bring your hands back up to the ceiling, keeping your palms together. You're pushing them into each other. Up towards the ceiling, keeping your eyes focused on the thumbs. Big deep breath in, slightly bending back. And let's exhale, fold forward all the way. Bringing the chest towards the knees, and the head towards your toes. Take a big deep breath in. Place your hands just below your knee. You're going to extend your arms straight. Extend the back. Lift the chin up towards the top of the mat. Shoulders are moving towards the rear of the mat. And exhale. Let's place your hands down in front of you. You're going to step your right leg back, keeping that left leg bent. From here, I'm going to come up, bringing our arms up. Palms together. As you exhale, I want you to bring your right elbow towards the outside of your left knee for a gentle twist. Then inhale, bring it back up. And exhale, frame your left foot, placing the hands down. Step the left leg back, bringing the right foot forward. And from this position, we're going to bring our upper body up again, arms up towards the ceiling. Inhaling deeply. And exhale. Framing that right foot. Step the right leg back. And from here, we're going to keep our elbows close to the body, pulling our chest towards the ground. As you're coming down, you want to imagine you're pushing the ground away from you. As you pull your chest towards it. Top of the feet onto the mat, and you get down all the way. Then the arms straight, pulling the chest forward, gazing up towards the ceiling. Exhale. You can tuck your toes. Move your hips up to the ceiling. Draw the energy of your heels down towards the ground. I'm going to hold here for 3 breaths. Inhaling deeply, continue moving up towards the ceiling. Some more breaths. Inhaling deeply, belly button moves away from the legs. And on your next exhale, you're going to bend the knees. Start to walk the feet toward the top of the mat. Moving directly to that half loop position. Arms straight, back straight. Gaze towards the horizon. And exhale, fold forward. Chest towards knees, head ragdolling down towards the ground. And inhale, slowly standing up all the way, bringing the arms up above the head. Palms together. And exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Take the arms out. And then from here, I want you to bring your toes together. Your heels are slightly apart. We're going to pull our hips down towards the ground, bringing the arms up towards the ceiling. If you have access to it, I want you to bring your palms together. We're going to hold here for 5 breaths. Inhaling, keeping the chest lifted up, extending the arms, moving the hands away from the body. As you exhale, you keep pulling the hips towards the ground. 3 more breaths here. Notice yourself getting lower and lower with each breath. 2 more breaths. Keep the hips low, the chest lifted. And on your next exhale, fold forward. Legs are straightened, bent if you need. The hips are going up to the ceiling. Chest to the knees. And inhale, bring your hands, place them just below the knees, extending the arms, lifting the chest up halfway. Inhaling deeply as you gaze towards the horizon. And exhale, plant the hands down. Step both legs back. From here, you're going to bring your knees down towards the ground. And bring the hips back towards your heels. Inhale. Coming up. You're going to find yourself in a tabletop position. Shoulders over your wrist. Hips over your knees. We're going to start with the left leg. Lifting the left leg up. And we're rotating. In. Up, out, and in. Finding that rotation in the hip. Getting them warmed up. Inhaling as you lift the hip up. You should bring the leg back towards the midline. That's when you'll be exhaling. Gently using your hands to push the ground beneath you away. Helping you to find stability. Trying to move the hip as much as possible. Taking note of where it may feel stiff. Get 2 more here. And then you're going to switch legs. Down to the left leg. Same thing with the right leg. Bring the right knee up. Lifting the foot up. Back towards the body and back down and around. Taking your time, you want to sync your breathing with your movement. Shoulders relaxed. About 3 more. All right, back into tabletop position. Here, I want you to bring your knees up off the ground, hips to the ceiling. From here, as you inhale, you're going to bring your chest forward. We're going to move into a plank position. And exhale. Takes you back down to the downward dog position. Upside down feet. Inhale, bring yourself forward. And exhale. Hips back up to the ceiling. Inhale. Bringing the hips to the ground. Exhale. Hips back up. Holding here for 3 breaths. Draw the energy of your heels towards the ground. And next, exhale. Walking the feet towards the hands. Moving up into a half lifted position. Exhale, fold forward all the way. And inhale. Rise up. All right, we got 30 seconds. And we'll get started with the post warm up. How's everybody doing? Good? Warmed up? So next what we're going to be doing, we're going to be squatting, coming down, pushing up, and back up. And let's go for it. Squat down. Take your time, whatever movement you're doing, take your time, give it your best effort. Broken it down just to a squat. That's fine. You're pulling yourself down. You want to come out to a plank and go back? That's acceptable. As long as you're challenging yourself. Always trying to do a little bit better than the last time. Doing that consistently. Pulling yourself down. Walk out to a plank. If you need to in a push-up, you bring your knees to the ground. Whatever we're doing, let's keep moving. Even if you're just moving, marching in place. Keep moving, keep breathing. And relax. So So we're gonna be lying on our backs. So the next one, we're gonna be glute bridges. So feet together, knees together. You're gonna slide your feet as close to your butt as you can. You don't have to force it. I want you to try to keep your knees together, and you're lifting your hips up to the ceiling and coming back down. So lifting up, pulling down. Now let's go for it. Exhaling. So inhaling up, exhaling down. Once again, using our feet, our hands, any point of contact that we feel on the ground, we're using that to push the ground away from us. Not forcing it, gentle. Keeping those knees together. Help to work the inside of the thighs. Controlling our breathing. Making sure to make full use of the respiratory system, of the full respiratory system. Means lower abdomen, upper abdomen, and chest, all expanding. As you exhale, all contracting. Two more to go. And relax. All right. So we're going to meet at the back of the mat in a tabletop position on all fours. From here, you're going to lift your hips, and we're going to take a couple of steps forward. And then we're going to go back. If you have more space to operate, you take more steps forward and steps back. That's the motion that we're working on. Try not to get your hips higher than your shoulders. Just take your time. Most important thing is that we're still moving. The knees don't come off the ground too much. And you move within the amount of space that you have allowed. You don't need much. Remember to focus, taking deep, steady breaths. And relax. You can stay down on all fours for the next one. And we're going to be doing reverse kicks. We're going to start one leg at a time, and then halfway through, I'll let you know when to switch. So set up, shoulders over hip, over wrists, hips over knees. Let's go. Knee in, send the leg back out. Exhaling in, inhaling out. Then using any part of your body in contact with the ground to push the ground away from you. And let's switch legs. Same thing, knee in, extend the heel out. Inhaling, leg back, exhaling, knee in. Inhale, we want to expand, elongate, exhale, contract. And relax. Okay, from this position, go down onto our backs. Knees are bent. Feet up in the air. Hands at the side of our head. And we're doing alternating cross crunch. I want you to aim your elbow to the outside of your opposite knee. It doesn't necessarily need to touch, but we want to aim our energy in that direction. Let's go for it. Twisting. To get the arm over there, we want to try not to just move our elbow in. That's not going to help. We're twisting to get the elbow there. Inhaling as you open up. Exhaling as you close in. Finding a breathing rhythm and pace that works for you. Seconds to go. Finish it off strong. And relax. All right. So from there, you get to flip over to your stomachs. And from there, you're going to extend your arms straight out. And you're going to lift your right thumb with your palms facing together. Palms facing together. I want you to lift your right thumb up and your left heel same time. Bring them down and then alternate. Now let's go for it. Continuing to use any point that's in contact with the ground to twist the ground away from you. To help stabilize your body. The more stable you are, the more you'll be able to extend. Continuing to deep breathing. Two more. And relax. So staying down. Now from that position, we're going to transition into a plank. And we're gonna be going from straight arm plank to a bent elbow plank. If you need, do them on your knees, arms straight, arms bent, back up to straight. Clock's going, let's go for it. If you need to, you can just hold the position. You need to do straight arm here, straight arm, knees bent, or legs straight, elbows bent, knees bent. And then what we're doing, up and down. And relax. Good job. All right, so we're still on all fours. And we're doing mountain climbers. So from this position here, knees come up from a plank, left knee in, back out, and then switch. I gotta wipe my mat down because I'm slipping. All right. And try to keep the hips level with the shoulders. Hands pushing the ground away. Might need to towel yourself up. And that's coming up. All right, we're gonna meet on our feet. We're gonna start with your feet a little bit more shoulder width apart. And we're gonna be doing side lunges. Alternating left to right. As you're moving, bending, keep the chest lifted. Try to avoid bending down like this. You want that chest lifted up high. And you want to find the range of motion that you can move in. As you come down, you're pulling yourself into the position. On the way up, you're pushing the ground away from you and transitioning. Your feet are rooted to the ground. Just like roots of a tree, they're going to provide stability for you. Take notice of how the ankles, The knees, the hips feel. Still maintaining a steady, deep breath. Chest up high, head up high. Just flowing from left to right. Gently pushing the ground away from you. And relax. Good job. All right, we're staying on our feet. So next, feet are still shoulder width apart. You're gonna bring your hands behind your head, and we're gonna squat and cross. Back up. Alternating sides. Deep breath in. And let's go for it. Come back, standing up fully, elbows open, chest open, pulling ourselves down, pushing the ground away on the way up. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Open those elbows up on the way up, chest open up, inhale all that good air. And exhale. Pull yourself down. Ground as we push the way up. Few seconds to go. And relax. All right. We're going to meet down in child's pose. So for that, get down on hands and knees. You're going to open up your knees as wide as you can. Bring your feet together. You're going to bring your hips back towards your butt. I'm going to extend the arms out, allowing the chest to fall in between the knees. And we're at rest here. Breathing in deeply. Find that steady breath. Bringing awareness of our body through our breath. To visualize your breath traveling throughout your body. Giving us what we need to survive. Can't survive too long without breath, without air, or the activity of breathing. Allow yourself to melt down into whatever position your body will allow at this point. Don't fight it. Don't force it. Just breathe into it. From that position here, transitioning out, I want you to bring your knees together. The back of your thigh should be straight up. And we're going to extend the arms out from here, allowing the chest to come down towards the ground. So our knees are at a 90-degree angle. Our hips at a 90-degree. Arms out. And just relax. Everybody's going to feel something different at different intensities. It all depends on what your body needs. Now is a great time to listen to it and find out. Deep breath in. And exhale. Allowing your body to relax. Close your eyes if you choose. Okay, from here, we're going to lie down on our backs. I want you to bring your right knee in towards your chest. And once there, we're going to gently move it over towards the left side. Moving the right arm out to the right side. Moving the right leg over towards the left side. Gently twisting. We're going to try to keep our shoulders, our shoulders right and left on the ground. Taking note of how our body moves with each breath. As you're breathing deep and steady, or is it shallow and choppy? We want to aim for deep and steady. Filling your lungs up with as much oxygen as you possibly can. You're not holding it, you're letting it go right away. And gently relax, moving the right leg straight out in front of you. I'm going to bring the left knee in towards the chest. And the left knee, shoulders are flat on the ground. And let's go for it. Find that area where you feel the strongest sensation. Sending your breath to it and allowing it to help break it up and get through that blockage. Taking note of how the chest and the abdomen rise and fall as you inhale and exhale. Feeling the air move throughout our bodies. Just allowing your body to be where it's going to be. And from here, just gently transition, legs are straight out. Bring your heels together, allow your feet, toes fall out towards the side. You bring your shoulders underneath your body. The palms of your hands are faced towards the ceiling. And we're just going to relax and rest and be still in this position. Relaxing the eyebrows. And resting those cheek muscles. Allowing your body to melt into the ground and be supported by the floor beneath you. Shoulders are relaxed. Breathing a big, deep, full breath. Slowly allow your fingers and toes to wiggle. Feel the energy moving throughout your body. Reach those hands up high. Your palms together and give yourselves a round of applause. Hope everybody enjoyed themselves. And if you didn't, you'll appreciate me later.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they'll say they enjoyed it, but I think they'll agree that they needed it. Let George know how you guys doing. We don't know how you're doing unless we hear from you. Did you make it through the exercise? Give us a thumbs up, words in the chat.
Awesome.
Wipe yourself off, because I know that I know some of you are sweating with these movements, you know, but those movements will get you right, get you ready. It's so important. Joy, I thank you so much for this, for the exercise that you give us. Let me see. There's a message from Kilana said, made it through the majority of it. Oh, there's some that was a little difficult for you, right? Understandable. But that's why you get the replay, so you can take it over and over and get stronger with each passing day. And you will, but you've got to do it. I remember some of these exercises when I was in the military, and I'll tell you, some of the guys couldn't do it, man. It was even back then, when we were basically 19 and 20-year-olds. Some of the guys couldn't hang, but that's why it's body conditioning. By the time boot camp was over, they were able to do it. But in the beginning, they were so out of shape. Forget about it. Elizabeth said, I always get the workout I need from these sessions. Oh, Thank you so much. And we're glad to hear that, really. Kilana says, hold things or do all reps. I didn't get that whole message there, Kilana, but I hear you. The main thing is that you try. That's important, that you're there. And the exercises are meant to give you total body. You'll get some cardio work, then you get some strength training. It all adds up. It means something to do this. Your body needs to move. We're too sedentary. We've got to move our body. We sit more than ever. With the advances of technology, we've advanced technologically wise, but we are regressing in other ways. And that's not good. Marjorie says, thank you, George. Wonderfully challenging. I made it through to the end, but I modified frequently, feeling stronger and more flexible, which is good. She modified. And that's what we want you to do.
Absolutely.
Right? Modification. Kilana said, yes, couldn't hold things for as long or do all the reps at a steady, quicker pace, but good workout overall. And that's good. And again, but Glenda says, yes, thank you, George. Just do what you can. It's important. And being here together, it helps. Charmaine says, same here. Excellent. Excellent. This is how we know that you're still with us, when you're able to communicate with us and let us know what you're going through. It's important. We only have one more week, live week, when we're here with you. Other than that, it's just going to be the recordings. So we want to make sure that, we are in touch, that we are in communication with each other, that we know what you're doing, and any way we can tweak it and help you, even next week, we're there for you. And speaking of next week, we have a special presentation on November 16th with our Futarian, Orville Douglas. That's going to be a powerful presentation, and it's open to everyone. It's open to each and every one of you, and family and friends, okay? So if you have anyone that you think would benefit from that listening and watching that presentation, give them the link. It's the same link that you guys have. And it's going to be a powerful presentation. Orville always over-delivers. And I'm going to ask him all kinds of questions, okay, when it comes to the fruitarian lifestyle and the power of fruit. But he'll be quick to tell you that it's not the fruit that's doing the healing. It's your body that's doing the healing. But the fruit is just enabling your body to do it. Kilana said, I was surprised to feel some tightness in my hips, thighs with some of the moves, but breathing through it helped. I also like the advice to push the floor away with every part in contact with the floor. Okay, okay, very good, very good. Now, for those of you who enjoyed that brief interview with Trisha Nelson, you can actually watch it on my 6 Weeks of Fitness YouTube channel. Or if you wish, I can actually send you the link, just in case you may want to watch the entire 40-minute interview from the emotional eating expert. And she said a lot of stuff in there that I'm sure you can benefit from. I didn't want to play the whole thing, obviously, but just give you a little excerpt from the interview. Okay? And as a reminder, don't forget to send me a copy of your form. Those of you who have, don't stop, keep going, so I can help you keep track of your progress. We're at the home stretch now, okay? But we want to step it up because, again, although this is the end, we're coming to the end of the program next week, but we're not coming to the end of your training, of your goals. We're not coming to the end of that. That's ongoing, okay? We just want to give you a kickstart so that you can achieve your goals. That's important. Now, I reached out to a few of you and recommended an individual weight training program for you. So you should be doing that program 2 to 3 times per week. And that's going to help you quite a bit. And as you know, I always say muscle takes up more space than fat. And that's true. And if you're pre-diabetic or have a full-blown diabetes, you need to start a strength training program. Why? Because strength training helps improve insulin sensitivity, you know how important that is, which means your body can better utilize glucose from food and regulate blood sugar levels. When you do strength training, you're actually moving the glucose from the blood into the muscle. And that's where you want it. And that's why it's important that we do strength training. It'll regulate those blood levels. And also, when it does that, like I said, when it moves blood into the muscle is going, and you know that it takes more calories to build muscle than it does when it comes to fat. All right. So by doing that, you're going to help your body to become more lean by moving that sugar into the muscle. And when your body becomes more lean, it's going to burn fat even more efficiently. So that's why you need to do strength training. It can only help you. And I want you to really consider that, okay? Because I know a lot of people love to do just the cardio. But when you add the strength training, it has an extra benefit besides making you stronger. It's going to actually help you to build lean muscle. It's going to push the sugar, the excess sugar from your blood to your muscle. That's going to help you also to become more leaner again. So it's a win-win situation when you do strength training. It's a win-win. All right. So I want you to promise yourselves that you're going to start strength training. And now it doesn't have to be only with weights. Strength training can be push-ups, crunches. But George, you gave some mountain climbers and other exercises today, right?
Absolutely.
Planks, all that stuff is strength training. Okay, so you don't have to go, it doesn't have to be weights if you're afraid of weights. Just total body exercises will help get you there. Because we want to work with your body. There are things that you can do to really get you on track, all right? Because you have goals. And the last I checked, some of our goals are in the future, right? But the only way you're going to get there if you take your body with you. So you're going to need this body. You're going to need to take care of this body so that it can take care of you and help you to get towards your goals. This is what it's all about. Now, I also sent you information on intermittent fasting because that presentation that Sky gave on Tuesday was excellent. And I was hoping that it piqued your curiosity so that you would want to know more information about IF, intermittent fasting. It will really help you towards your health goals. Not only will it help you when it comes to weight loss, but also reduce the risk for chronic disease. It just gets your cells in order. In other words, when you do intermittent fasting, your body says, well, you're not feeding me the normal time you would usually feed me. And so your cells says to your other cells, well, we got to get rid of the bad cells because we don't know when this guy is going to feed us again. And so what happens is cells you go into a state that we call autophagy. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but when the cell starts getting rid of the bad cells, and your body starts to eat the stored fat, consume the stored fats on your body. So it's like a self-eating mechanism. And that's why when I get the urge, I have the urge to eat from fasting, I realize, no, that's just because I'm used to eating a certain time. And if I hold out for 20, 30 minutes, drink some water, whatever, I'm not going to have that urge anymore because my body knows where to get the food. It's going to get the food off of my fat. And I have fat like everyone else, So that's why I'm an advocate for intermittent fasting. And I tell everyone we need to do it because one thing that we do too much of, we do too much eating. We're eating all the time. Every time we turn around, put food in our mouths. And when you do that, your body doesn't have time to digest the food you put in there a few hours ago. So your body's working again, trying to get rid of the food, trying to digest the food. Each time you start eating the food, your insulin levels go up. And that's not going to help you when it comes to losing fat at all. So, but when you think about it, we need to eat less, not more. Right? Think about that. Because your body needs to get rid of the food that you've eaten previously. And if you start working out while you're fasting, again, I'm not talking about a 24, 48-hour fast. I'm talking about maybe a 16-hour fast. You can work out lightly during the time that you're fasting. And when you're fasting, your human growth hormone levels go up, which is going to help you to burn fat even more efficiently and build lean muscle. It really works. And it does, it's not, and again, it's not rocket science, right? But it works. Just working with your body. These simple things will help you to lose a few more pounds. It will also give you more energy. It make you feel better, give you mental clarity, all that good stuff. You know, there's a fallacy that was put out years ago that said breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And I grew up thinking that breakfast was indeed, had to be the most important meal of the day. Why? Because I was told that as a kid growing up. So, of course, the grown-ups wasn't lying to me, right? So, but then as I dug deeper into this, I had a doctor, I forgot her last name, but on my podcast, and she talked about it, and she said, Vince, breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. I begged to differ, but then she said, no, it's not. And you can go do the research, and which I did. Come to find out, this Dr. Harvey Kellogg from the Kellogg Cereal Company was the one who started that slogan, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Why? Because he wanted to sell more cereal. That's why he said breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And he ended up selling more. And so the Kellogg company got behind it. The Post company got behind it. They started pushing out cereal, and because it's the most important meal of the day. But it is not. You can have breakfast anytime you want. I was out with some friends of mine. We went to an event. The event ended around 12 midnight. And so we're going home in our cars. They said, well, let's stop by IHOP at the time. I said, okay, fine. I'm hungry. And I said, well, usually IHOP is for breakfast. They said, yeah. They said to me, well, got breakfast anytime. And these are guys, security guys, they said they eat breakfast anytime they want. But they were right. Breakfast doesn't have to be at 6, 7 in the morning. You can have breakfast at 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's why I realized, yes, you can fast. You don't have to eat that early. The longer you wait to eat, the more time you give your body to rest, to also rebuild. And it helps. It's a mental thing. You're used to eating a certain time of day, and your body's going to function. Your body will do whatever it has to do to keep you alive. So you never think that you're going to starve to death because you're not eating for 16 hours. But you'll be surprised how much better you're going to feel. And you're going to lose weight naturally because of that, just by taking those steps. Do you have any questions for me on intermittent fasting or anything that we spoke about today, of the exercises, anything at all? Because this is the weekend coming up, and I'm hoping that you guys are going to use these days to continue the exercise program. Continue eating healthy. We don't take a break from our health. No matter where we are, we've got to make sure we take advantage of the time and do right by our bodies. Love your body, love yourself. A lot of times we spend time loving others and forget to love ourselves. But we need to love, self-love. And I'm sure you love your pets. And your pets are great because they give you unconditional love, unlike humans, right? But that's okay. I want you to love yourself and promise yourself that you're going to do something this weekend to stay on track with your goals. Queen Marlene, when is that special session? That special session is next week, Saturday, November 16th at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So do your best to be there. It's going to be about an hour and a half. I'll start. I ask some questions, but then he'll answer the questions. But I'm telling you, it's a powerful interview with Orville Douglas. And he'll answer any questions you have when it comes to fruit. He runs a fruitarian challenge every other week. And the people that's been in his challenge, that's seeing cancers reverse, not obesity, of course, liver disease, heart disease, all in the space of something like 30 days from being on his challenge. He's written a book about it. It's just amazing. I've known Orville for, since since 2000, about 24 years. And I've learned a lot from that brother. and I hold him in high regard. He's the gold standard, in my opinion, when it comes to fruitarianism and nutrition. So you'll learn a lot, and you won't regret being on the call, on the Zoom. All right. And this, again, all this is part of the program, but it's open up to everyone. I want to invite anyone and everyone to come out and watch that presentation and be our guests. All right. So with that being said, if you guys have no questions, I'm just so glad to see you. So glad you showed up. We're almost there. Don't give up on yourself, because I'm not giving up on you either. And guess what? God hasn't given up with you either. He's still there. All right. So have a wonderful weekend. God bless. I'll be in touch via WhatsApp and also via email. And I'll see you next Tuesday. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Joe.